Disclaimer, these are just speculations. In a little over a month, the 2020 models will be here. And while I don't think they would, they might. Get rid of the Sportster. A couple of different things could happen. They could just completely discontinue the family, like they did the V-Rod. They could integrate the family, like they did the Dyno. They could beef up the motor, or they could do nothing. Now, since Project Rushmore, the Sportster is the only family not to have drastic changes. That's 5 years. And in that same time, they've completely redesigned every other single model. In that time, the Sportsters have had 2 new models, the 1200T and the Roadster, and a couple of special models that they made from pre-existing motorcycles. The only argument I can kind of see for this is that the engine is getting a bit dated. With the Livewire coming out in August and a whole bunch of new bikes projected for the coming up years, you can't be selling these state-of-the-art bikes on technology and these archaic Sportsters on nostalgia. The 1200 Evo was announced in 1988, 31 years ago. In the same time, the baggers have near doubled their displacement. At the same time, I don't want to downplay nostalgia. We've all had Sportsters. My first bike was a Sportster. Discontinuation, unlikely. The next possibility would be to integrate them into another family. This possibility wouldn't really work had we not seen what happened to the Dynas, and that's literally the only reason why this is a possibility. Even still, the Dyna was an easy bike to integrate. All you had to do was hide the shocks, and boom, you have a Softail. Now, of course, they also put the new engine into the Dynas that they integrated into Softails. So now we're looking at a complete rebuild of all the Sportsters, and I just don't know how that would look. The smallest Milwaukee 8's the 107, that's 1700 cc's, 500 more than the biggest Sportster. It could work. I'd also be really pissed off if I had just bought a 2019 Sportster and the 2020's come out and I have 500 more cc's and an extra gear. You just can't make everyone happy. Integration is slightly less unlikely than discontinuation, but still a possibility. The next possibility is pretty straightforward. Just beef up the engine, throw an M8 in there, make a 6-speed Evo. Just buff the entire family. This just recently happened with Softails. This has been happening since forever with baggers. Maybe it's just time. However, I will say it is unlikely that HD is focusing on a complete rebuild of the Sportster while also focusing on these future and some might say ambitious projects for the future. You're talking about engineer, R&D, marketing, the whole shebang. It's almost more likely that they are focusing on these future bikes to slowly kill off the Sportster, which makes my first argument a little more likely now. Discontinuation likely. And the final possibility, do nothing. As I've stated before, they've been doing nothing for a while with the Sportsters. And you can probably squeeze a few more years of doing nothing before people just go and buy the new Indian for less money and more power. Nostalgia will wear off, the market will change, and the consumer will shop. I just don't know what will happen, but I am going to the annual dealer meeting this year in Milwaukee, and when I know, you'll know. My final prediction is that they'll do nothing. I'm expecting to see some cool new colors for 2020, maybe a reintroduction, possibly the XR or the 72. That would be cool. Let me know what your guys' predictions are. That's all I got for you today. I'll see you next time.